Your soulmate isn't a firework, they're a slow burning candle. The death of the spark, why boring is the new relationship goal. We have been sold a cinematic lie, from the rain-soaked reunions and rom-coms to the love at first sight tropes of Disney. We've been conditioned to believe that if a relationship doesn't feel like a high-voltage electrical surge, it's simply not the one. We chase the butterflies, the obsessive texting, and the breathless intensity of the honeymoon phase, treating anything less as a sign of incompatibility. But as we look at the wreckage of modern dating, the ghosting, the 3-month burnout, and the situationship cycles, a quiet revolution is taking place. The couples hitting their 10, 15, and 20-year anniversaries aren't the ones who started with a bang. They are the practitioners of slow burn sinking. They are the people who embraced the boring and in doing so, built something unbreakable. The dopamine trap versus the oxytocin build. To understand why slow burn relationships are outlasting the passionate ones, we have to look at the neurochemistry of attraction. High-intensity starts are often fueled by dopamine, the chemical of pursuit, novelty, and unpredictability. It's an addiction. When you aren't sure if they'll text back or when the chemistry is so volatile it feels like a drug, your brain is under siege. The problem? Dopamine has a shelf life. It is physically impossible to maintain that level of intensity forever. When the spark inevitably dims, couples who built their entire foundation on it feel like the love has died. They confuse stability with boredom and peace with a lack of chemistry. Slow burn sinking relies on oxytocin, the chemical of bonding, safety, and long-term trust. It doesn't scream, it whispers. It's the gradual realization that you feel safe, heard, and completely yourself around someone. It's not a roller coaster, it's a steady walk uphill. While the dopamine junkies are crashing, the slow burners are just getting started. The myth of the spark as a green light. We often treat the spark as a cosmic green light, but in reality, it can often be a warning siren. Psychologists often note that the intense, immediate pull we feel towards someone can actually be our nervous systems recognizing a familiar pattern of chaos or trauma. When a relationship feels boring at the start, it's often because there's no anxiety masquerading as excitement. There's no chase. You know where you stand. For many of us, healthy love feels boring because we're used to the highs and lows of toxic cycles. Slow burn sinking requires the maturity to recognize that a lack of drama isn't a lack of love. It's the presence of health. The architecture of 10+ years. Why do these boring relationships last a decade or more? Because they are built on functional compatibility rather than emotional intensity. 1. Shared values over shared hobbies. High burn relationships often focus on, we both love hiking and indie movies. Slow burners focus on, we both value financial security, open communication, and how to raise a family. 2. Conflict resolution over conflict avoidance. When a relationship starts with extreme passion, the first fight can feel like the end of the world. In slow burn relationships, since the ego isn't tied to a perfect fantasy, couples learn to navigate disagreements as partners rather than adversaries. 3. The roommate evolution. Every long-term relationship eventually enters a boring phase where life is about groceries, bills, and laundry. Couples who started with slow burn sinking don't fear this phase. They've been practicing for it since day one. They find joy in the mundane because their connection was never dependent on the high. The power of low-stakes intimacy. In the video, the concept of syncing refers to the way two lives gradually merge into a single rhythm. This isn't about losing your identity, it's about finding a partner whose default mode matches yours. It's the comfortable silence on a Sunday morning. It's knowing exactly how they take their coffee without asking. It's the security of knowing that even if you have nothing exciting to do, being in the same room is enough. This is what the 10-year veterans know that the serial daters don't. The peak of intimacy isn't a grand gesture, it's a shared ordinary life. Why this is the future of dating. In an era of endless swiping and the paradox of choice, we are more exhausted than ever. We are tired of the games. The shift towards valuing boring relationships is a collective move towards emotional sustainability. We are realizing that we don't want a partner who makes us lose our breath. We want a partner who helps us breathe easier. If you are currently seeing someone and you're worried because there aren't fireworks, ask yourself, do I feel safe? Do they respect my boundaries? Can we talk for hours about nothing? Do I like who I am when I'm with them? If the answer is yes, you aren't in a boring relationship, you're in a foundational one. You aren't missing out on the spark, you're building a fire that actually has the fuel to last through the winter. The new standard. The 10-year mark isn't reached by the couples who couldn't keep their hands off each other in month 1. It's reached by the couples who kept showing up in years 7, 8, and 9. It's reached by those who understood that syncing is a verb, a continuous, quiet, and often boring choice to choose the same person every single day. Stop looking for the explosion. Start looking for the person who feels like home. Because at the end of the day, you don't want to spend a decade on a roller coaster. You want someone to sit on the porch with. If you're ready to stop chasing the spark and start building a love that actually lasts, make sure to hit that subscribe button. We're breaking down the psychology of modern love every week so you can find the relationship you actually deserve.